It has taken me 10 years to finally play this game. Now, back when it came out, all I had was a laptop that could barely run Warframe, my trusty 3DS, and a Wii clinging to life support. Even if I did have a PS4 that could have run it, I hate playing first-person games with a controller. A PC was gonna be necessary. So fast forward to today, and all the stars have aligned. I have a gaming PC. It's the Alien franchise's 45th anniversary. Alien Romulus was just in theaters and was really good. And Creative Assembly has finally announced they've begun development on the sequel. I figured for the sake of Spooky Month, I may as well talk about it. Alien Isolation is a survival horror game, a genre I've been avoiding like the plague on the account of me being a massive pussy. Fun fact, during my freshman year of high school, we had a screening of the first Insidious movie, and I was watching it curled up in my seat, peeking from between my fingers. It was so bad that my friends weren't making fun of me for it. That's how bad I am at horror, or at least how bad I was. These days, the horrors of reality have eroded my spirit and my soul. So whatever this game has to throw at me, I can take no problem. In this game, you play as Amanda Ripley, Holden McLaren. You don't have your hyphenated last name and aren't old like an alien, so spoilers, you live. This game takes place between the first two Alien movies, while Ellen Ripley is still in her 57-year-long nap. Her daughter, Amanda, now works for the same shitty company, Weyland Yutani, as an engineer. She's approached by the company under the guise of finding the black box of her mother's ship, the Nostromo, in an attempt to find closure after her prolonged disappearance. You arrive at Sevastopol Station to meet the crew who found the black box, only to find a spaceport in complete disarray. People are running around like terrified rats. The androids are, not very welcoming. And the police seem to be doing nothing to help. And after some searching, we soon find out why. That is the Xenomorph. Avoid the Xenomorph. Do not engage the Xenomorph. Do everything in your power to put as much distance between you and the Xenomorph. Do not attempt to kill the Xenomorph. You cannot kill the Xenomorph. The Xenomorph, however, can very much kill you. Now okay, you know what? I'm just gonna call them the Alien to keep it simple from now on, but we'll talk more about them later. But first, I want to list all 4 enemy types from worst to best in my honest opinion before anything. The worst is easily the facehuggers. They come in late to the game, you can only really deal with them with one weapon, and their method of combat sucks. They make a beeline straight for you, and if they get you, you're dead. Sometimes they're in rooms hidden behind boxes, so if you swing a corner too fast without your flamethrower and forgot to save, good job, idiot. The game does tell you to go slow and be cautious, but at least the other enemies can be dealt with in more ways than one. They feel both underbaked and underutilized, and honestly I think the game would have been better off without them. Next are the humans. Most humans are hostile and will fire at you on sight. Humans can be distracted and avoided altogether using craftable items and flares. They can also be dispatched with firearms, but you're better off saving your ammo. If the alien isn't currently stalking you, distract them. If the alien is stalking, however, either let them try and shoot you so the alien can come over and clean house while you either sneak around and leave altogether, or hide and wait it out so you can loot the remains. Third is the alien. Sometimes the alien is manageable and something you can deal with. Other times it is practically camping you, just waiting for you to think you're safe and make you lose a whole ton of progress. Depending on the size of the map, it can get really bad. Here I'm in a tiny space where the alien is constantly dropping from the vents. My only real means of survival is to constantly stay on the move and out of sight. But because there are no true safe spaces here, I die a ton here. Matter of fact, here's a montage for your viewing pleasure. Your methods of dealing with the alien are using craftable items, flares, weapons, and ultimately avoiding it altogether. You can use smoke bombs to create temporary cover, flares and noisemakers to distract it, Molotov cocktails to make it retreat, the shotgun can stun it, but honestly I didn't want to test my luck, that guy is fucking scary, and the flamethrower. The flamethrower is your best friend. It's basically a short distance controllable Molotov that you can reload. You cannot kill the alien outside of story events. Your best bet is to avoid it as best as you can, either by breaking line of sight or staying in a locker. And finally, my favorite enemy type, the Working Joes. They're terrifying. They can only be killed by a blow to the head and are entirely unique to this game. They come in two flavors, normal and hazmat. Hazmat requires either more shots to the head or just one from the bolt gun. Your objective is pretty simple. Find the black box recording with Ellen Ripley's final message and get the hell out of Sevastopol with your buddies Samuel and Taylor. Far easier said than done. I've already explained the enemies, but there's also the puzzles and mini games that need to be solved along the way. Combined with a very foreign environment, things can potentially get very confusing. Check your map frequently on where you need to go, explore your surroundings, automatically marking stuff along the way, such as locked doors, potential escape routes, panels to hack, ventilation shafts, etc. And as you complete objectives, prepare for the worst, because things going wrong aren't a possibility, they're a guarantee. You'll need to scrounge up as much as you can, whether it's intel on how to bypass a locked door or the materials needed to craft special tools. In tandem with your key items such as your motion tracker, your security scanner, blowtorches, multitude of firearms, and trusty maintenance jack, the only thing that'll get in your way is your own nerves at the end of the day. Well, that and a perfect killing machine. Not too much to say about the music. Nothing you're going to be banging your head to or adding to your Spotify playlist. It's atmospheric and in tandem with the brilliant sound design is great for what it needs to do, with what it needs to do being scaring the hell out of you. I also wanted to pay some special attention to the graphical fidelity of this game. This thing came out in 2014, 10 years ago, and has better lighting than most games today. Now, while some models don't look so good up close, some parts of this game are absolutely stunning. It helps lend itself to the terrifying atmosphere that, in my opinion, just about no game has been able to replicate. So, with all that said, why did it take so long for us to even get a sequel confirmed to be in the works? Well, I have a few theories as to why. A lot of people like to point to the infamous IGN review as the main culprit, and as fun as the classic gamer pastime of making fun of journalists is, I'm gonna have to disagree. Our main culprits more likely lie with Randy Pitchford and Scott Cawthon. Now think about this. The last Alien game to come out before was Alien Colonial Marines, and while this game looked to be something completely different with the promotional material, it was misleading promotional material that led a lot of the backlash with Colonial Marines to begin with. So that's big reason number one. General stigma around Alien games courtesy of Gearbox. Big reason number two is the unforeseen success of Five Nights at Freddy's and Alien Isolation being sandwiched between both FNAF 1 and FNAF 2. It's pretty easy to forget, but the hype that the horror game community had with Five Nights at Freddy's was like 2008 and Amnesia all over again. Except this time, Scott accidentally created an entirely new different subgenre of horror game, mascot horror. With all the eyes and discussion being focused around Freddy Fazbear, the spotlight that was supposed to be all to Sega fell to the new indie darling in the scene. That poor xenomorph never stood a chance. But despite poor initial sales, Alien Isolation developed a cult following. The game even managed to inspire the director of Alien Romulus, showing that even in modern times, Alien can still be terrifying. And terrifying this game is. I have actually begun to have dreams about crawling through the vents thanks to this game. If that isn't a testament to this game's effectiveness, I don't know what is. It altered my brain chemistry to associate the darkness of sleep with the ventilation shafts. In any case, it may take a little bit more for us to get that sequel, but if Creative Assembly is on the case, I know it's going to be more than worth it. And with that, marks Video Game Field Notes Year 1. I learned a lot making this channel. Games I thought I would like, I would end up not caring for, and games I thought would be mid ended up being great. I never expected to hit a triple-digit sub count, let alone in my first year, but here I am. I've got plenty of ideas for new videos, not just single game yap sessions, and I can't wait to get to them. I'd like to thank you for making it to the end. If you could please consider hitting the buttons down below, as well as donating to my Ko-Fi in the link down below, or at kofi.com/VGFN_online, it would be greatly appreciated. It's been a fun year, so here's to a few more.